searches that are being conducted. Jammu and Kashmir is likely to get around 25 lakh additional voters, including that of the outsiders. This is a special summary revision of the electoral rolls that is being held for the first time after the abrogation of Article 370. However, the announcement that has been made by the Chief Electoral Officer Hirdesh Kumar drew an angry reaction from the former Chief Ministers of the erstwhile state of Jammu Kashmir, which is Omar Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti, who have attacked the centre, saying that this will only help the BJP and not the people, especially when it comes to the locals who are now being given a chance, especially those people, Ishan, who were non-locals but they are residing in the valley now. They too have been now given a chance to exercise their franchise. Ishan.
Well, I couldn't hear your question. Can you please repeat it?
Yes, so Ishan, I just wanted to ask you exactly when it comes to the objections that are being raised by the former chief ministers, especially when it comes to the locals there. They are saying their power is being taken away in a deliberate and a purposeful manner by the BJP and the Union Territory administration.
Well, one must remember there was a press conference by CEO J&K yesterday who cited People's Representation Act 1951 and said that, people who are temporarily in Kashmir for their jobs, education or any other sector, they will be given chance to vote and cast their franchise. And this has triggered a large political storm where political parties are blaming and saying that this is equal to 1987 when largely polls are believed to have been rigged. And, there's a political storm that has started from there onwards. They believe that on part of the government, they are blaming centre for deliberately taking this move and doing this move to, change the entire electoral discourse. Remember, the Chief Electoral Officer said that this is a special summary revision, which is
right. We'll just reconnect that line with Ishan because we are also in a while also expecting the press briefing on part of Mehbooba Mufti because they have been raising their objections over this, saying that this is a bid to disempower the locals. Meanwhile, Omar Abdullah has also said that it is the BJP which is insecure of the genuine voters of Jammu and Kashmir. Listen into more reactions.
देखिए, इस बात से पूरी तरह साफ जाहिर होता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जम्मू कश्मीर में किसी तरह से भी चुनाव नहीं जीत सकती है और उसी के चलते ये सारा खेल खेला जा रहा है और बाहर से भारतीय जनता पार्टी अब वोटर भी इंपोर्ट करना चाहती है। ये सरासर जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों के अधिकारों पर डकैती है जिसकी हम निंदा करते हैं।
There was no reason to dismember the state and downgrade it unilaterally.
कविंदर गुप्ता जी हमारे साथ फोन लाइन पर जुड़ रहे हैं। कविंदर गुप्ता जी, सीधे तौर पे अगर ये फैसला लिया गया है, जम्मू कश्मीर के जो फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर्स और मुख्यमंत्री हैं वो कह रहे हैं कि ये जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों और उनके आवाम के खिलाफ है।
देखिए, ये लोग यही चाहते थे कि किसी को भी अधिकार ना मिले। 70 साल इन्होंने जो वेस्ट पाकिस्तान रेफ्यूजीज हैं उनको इस अधिकार से वंचित रखा। वाल्मीकि समाज जो यहाँ पर काम करता है, इसके साथ सुरक्षा बल जो लगातार यहाँ पर काम करते रहे हैं, हमारे गोरखा समाज जो इस रियासत के लिए लड़ते रहे हैं, क्या उनको अधिकार नहीं मिलने चाहिए? इन्हीं लोगों ने ये चाहते हैं कि इनके सपने में आज भी वो धारा 370 आ रही होगी। शायद इनको ये भूल जाना चाहिए कि धारा 370 टूट चुकी है। हम जब किसी प्रदेश में जाते हैं तो हमारा वोट बनता है, हमारे बच्चों का वोट बनता है, तो जम्मू कश्मीर में क्यों नहीं? एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का जो हमने नारा दिया है, ये कोई जम्मू कश्मीर अलग प्रदेश नहीं है कि यहाँ पर जो भारत का नागरिक है वहाँ यहाँ का वोट नहीं मिलेगा। काम हमारे लिए करते हैं। अगर बाहर के लोग भी आते हैं, यहाँ पर सर्विस करने वाले लोग आते हैं, क्या वो वोट के अधिकार से वंचित रहे?
लेकिन कविंदर गुप्ता जी, आरोप ये लगाया जा रहा है कि जो नॉन लोकल्स है वो बीजेपी को सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे, मतलब यानी कि जो लोकल्स है वो बीजेपी को सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे, इसलिए नॉन लोकल्स को एक तरीके से ये पावर देकर बीजेपी अपने हिस्से, अपने फैसले, अपने फेवर में एक तरीके से टिल्ट करना चाहती है वोट बैलेंस।
देखिए, ये तो अपनी नीतियों का परिणाम होता है। लोग उस आधार पर वोट देते हैं, ना कि किसी राजनीतिक पार्टी को। कुल मिलाकर के हम तो 70 सालों से ये बोल रहे हैं, आज कोई नया नहीं बोल रहे कि सभी को अधिकार मिलना चाहिए। हमारी तो ये पुरानी है कि ये चाहते हैं कि सब जम्मू कश्मीर में रहने वाला, ये तो इन लोगों ने बिल पास किया था क्योंकि जो पाकिस्तान से चले गए हैं वो आकर के यहाँ रह सकते हैं। ये बिल क्या ठीक था? हमारे हिंदुस्तान के लोग यहाँ नहीं आएंगे? तो ये किस प्रकार की ये इनकी सोच है? इनकी जो नकारात्मक सोच है उसको बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा सकता, ना लोग बर्दाश्त करेंगे। और ये पहली बार हुआ है
कविंदर जी, मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ सर, आप बने रहिए हमारे साथ. लेट्स गेट अ काउंटर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एज वेल. Majid Haidari is with us on the phone line. Majid Haidari, now the question and the contention that is being raised, now the abrogation of Article 370 has happened. There is no special status. Everybody is being treated equally, and that is why when it comes to the non-locals, they too have the right to vote.
See, madam, the story is very simple. BJP is getting its own voter base from outside so that BJP facilitates its victory in Jammu and Kashmir. We can easily say that now the inhabitants of Gorakhpur Math can vote from Jammu and Kashmir only to strengthen the Hindutva agenda, and that is the larger story of what has happened yesterday. It's all the way unlawful, condemnable, regrettable that democracy is dying the death because of the 7 strikes on Kashmir. This is really unfortunate. This way BJP cannot win the hearts of people.
All right. Haidari Saab, thank you very much for joining in. Mr. Saqib is also with us from the PDP. Sir, we are expecting that Mehbooba Mufti shortly will be doing a press briefing. But what really are the objections that are being raised?
Well, I think the major points, as you rightly said, that there will be a press conference at 11 a.m., so major points will be highlighted then. But I think let's talk about the broader issues. Jammu and Kashmir, as of now, like the last census, the total number of registered voters was 7.8 million. And the press conference that was done by Election Commissioner yesterday, he said that we estimate 2.8 million more voters to be added. So what it means is that the whole 33% of the new electorate would be added to the population of the registered voters in Jammu and Kashmir.
But why is that a problem exactly, sir? Now there is no special status to Jammu and Kashmir.
No, it's not the point about special status. It's not. See, number one, if you talk about special status, there are 2 issues that we should discuss and keep in mind. One, the matter is sub judice. Since the matter is pending before the court, on what basis is the government changing the whole facts on the ground? Number one. Number second, even delimitation is challenged before the court. So I don't understand what forms the constitutional basis for doing all these acts.
But Mr. Saqib, when the delimitation meetings that was happening continuously with the centre, the NC in a way was also in favour of the kind of meetings that was happening. The PDP doesn't seem to be on board for the same.
I lost you there. I didn't hear your question, but if you're asking about why not be a part of delimitation, if I heard your question correctly, is why would we consider delimitation? Because it stems from J&K Reorganization Act, and the whole Reorganization Act is sub judice.
But don't the people of Jammu and Kashmir want a free and fair elections to happen? I mean, we do not want a repeat of 1987 elections, sir. There were allegations of mass rigging. And we are working in a democracy, and elections is a right of every citizen, including that of Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly. It is tactical rigging before elections have even happened. And BJP is so scared of the mandate of the people of Jammu and Kashmir that they want to change the rules of the game now, because they know that people will punish them for what they have done to Jammu and Kashmir. It's not just Kashmir, it's in Jammu as well. So it's that fair psychosis that has been induced in them because of what has happened post-August 5. And that is why they want to change the rules of the game.
All right. All right. Mr. Saqib, thank you very much for joining in. We're just going to hear and be on standby what Mehbooba Mufti has to say on this. Mr. Feroz is also with us on the phone line. Sir, exactly the objections that are being raised. Can you give us your point of view?
No, my point of view in this regard is that in order to strengthen the democracy, I would like to congratulate the government, the governance of India. They have taken, the right kind of step because, earlier, the people in Kashmir, they used to think whether it, in fact, the way they were treating Jammu and Kashmir, we thought that, whether it is part of Pakistan, whether it is an independent nation, they had a different flag. What is all this? Ek naam, ek vidhan, ek nishan. Now this has started, for the last 2 years. So the government has done an excellent thing, and the people who are objecting to it, perhaps these are the people who are anti-India, who are anti-national, who are not patriotic. And I believe that...
Feroz साहब, the main objection उनका ये है कि सीधे तौर पे अगर जो locals है वो बीजेपी के लिए कभी वोट नहीं करेंगे, इसलिए नॉन लोकल्स को भी इंक्लूड एंड किया जा रहा है, उन्हें शामिल किया जा रहा है, so that BJP can tilt the vote turnout in its favor, sir.
See, in a democracy, nobody is untouchable, whether it is BJP, Congress, or National Congress, or any other party. So any person who would like to vote, say, for BJP, say a person comes from some other state, so there is no harm. And, to change the demography, all these things. Now, these things actually are now, gone by. These are the things which were there in the past. Now, Jammu and Kashmir is very much like any other state, like UP, like Kerala, like Madhya Pradesh.
And people there should be treated equally in a way, because there is no special status now. Abrogation of Article 370 has happened, and the people of Jammu and Kashmir also have an equal right when it comes to being a part of the democratic process and free and fair elections that are to be conducted. Thank you, Feroz Saab, for joining us here on the broadcast. We head into a short break. You're watching Times Now.